What's up, y'all? Yo. All right. Well, that was one beat on Roland P-6. Gonna play a couple more and then we're gonna get started here. And maybe we'll actually switch to Lo-Fi 12 XT, play something on here. So what is this? Yo, Civilian Beats. Dude, what's up? Super dope. Finally got my Lo-Fi 12 XT. I love it. Dude, heck yeah. That's what's up, man. Glad to hear. Welcome to the Lo-Fi 12 XT fam. Dude, that's sick though. Did you get the black one or did you get the classic colored one? Cause yeah, I rock the black one, but I always see the classic one. I'm like, it's kind of interesting retro color style. It's always got me wondering. Dude, nice. Yeah, I kind of like the black one. The black one's sick. But yeah, the other color's sick too. Yeah, it's definitely got that old Akai gear kind of look to it. Nice. That's how we do. All right. Oh, something's playing here, but it's all good. What is up, y'all? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's chilling. Big shout out to Civilian Beats for getting the chat started. But yeah, so we're gonna get started on today's session. Let me talk us through what's going down. Because yeah, the idea for this session is to do something that I've been doing with the Tuesday streams, which is to use the Lo-Fi 12XT as a MIDI controller that I use to control VSTs in DAW, the almighty DAW. And then I'll basically be playing sounds from it into the Roland P-6. You can see I'm using my modded P-6 too, so it's going to sound super lo-fi and gritty. And yeah, I'll basically just be using this like looper workflow on the P6. So I'll be like capturing kind of loops using the delay effect. And then from there, kind of constructing a beat on the P6. So it's a P6 session, but I've got the Lo-Fi 12XT because this thing is super useful as a MIDI controller for many reasons, which we'll go over through the stream. And then yeah, once I do that, we'll do one beat on here, and then I'll switch it up and talk a little bit about some like live performance tactics on the Roland P6. Because yeah, last week I played some beats at this like weekly hip hop thing in Sacramento, which was pretty fun. It's called Lo-Fi Wednesdays at Shady Lady. So if you live in Sacramento, you should definitely check it out every Wednesday. It goes down starting at like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. or something. But yeah, so I've got some stuff on the P6 that I want to show everyone in terms of like, you know, how to do like live effects and that sort of thing. So we'll get into that a little bit later. And if you're not able to stick around for that, be sure to check out the recording of the stream. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started then. Yo, Matt Jacob, what's up, dude? How's it going? It's cracking. But yeah, so I got to get on a brand new bank here, or pattern, I mean. I was making some loops the other day. Check these out. So yeah, that was one kind of example of, yeah, just taking sounds from DAW and kind of making loops on the P6. So I haven't put drums on that yet. I'll probably do that in a future session. And then there was one other one that I did. I think this was yesterday. The drums are just a placeholder there. Something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea for tonight's session, is to just kind of make loops, and then I'll have some drums on it too. But yeah, this stuff I'll probably end up releasing on my Patreon for free once I flip it on a different stream. So stay tuned for that. All right, but yeah, let's go ahead and load up a new project here. And yeah, something else that I do with the P6 that I haven't talked much about, something I've been doing lately, is changing the BPM to 100 on patterns that I don't use. So this is always a clear indicator to me that there's nothing on the pattern if it's at 100 BPM, because I don't really work at those higher tempos because I do like hip hop type stuff. So yeah, something that I've done is just make all of the patterns that are unused 100 BPM. So anytime I load up a pattern, if I see 100, I know that it's like a blank, clean slate, and then I can just like start, you know, messing around with it and stuff. So you can see a lot of these are 100. I think I have a beat here. No. There we go. And this one's 84, so it's probably got something on it. Yeah, so you kind of get the idea there. Okay, let's go ahead and load up a blank one. This one is blank, 100. And then I got to get my DAW all set up here. Actually, I have not tested this yet, so we're going to find out if it works. Then I need to load up some sounds. Or you know what, actually first, let me do a rhythm section. We'll use P6 to get some drums dialed in here. Okay, and then I have all my drum sounds on a single bank, which is bank, well, I have some on bank A and some on bank E. And then I use bank E's drums for any beats that use the F, H, and G banks. So it kind of stays organized that way. So I just have these 4 pads, but I have a sample chain set up, so there's like a ton of samples saved on each pad. Super handy. This is open hats. This is snares. Kicks. So yeah, let's get some basic jotted out here. So I'm going to bring it down to 92, I guess. Start with the snare. And then I'll turn on the metronome by holding pattern. Yeah, that is pattern. And then pressing the record button. Actually, let me pick a snare that I like and then I'll do that. This one sounds kind of tight. All right, so we'll do a metronome. Then I can press record. I turn on the granular keyboard somehow. I think I recorded that in. Oh, crap. How do I delete this? All right, I think we're good here. Oops. All right, got something kind of groovy here, so I'm going to duplicate the sequence, shift copy, pattern, duplicate. So now it was just 1 bar looping, but now it's 2. And then now that I have the 2 bars, I can remove because basically I want the open hat to trigger a little bit less frequently. So I'm going to remove it from the first few steps, and then it'll just trigger on the second 2. So it'll be like every other. Yo, Samurai Chill. What's up, dude? How's it going? All right, so we got some basic rhythm section here. Pretty satisfied with that. Something else kind of interesting you can do if you're using sample chains is you can adjust the transpose, and if you have sliced samples that you're triggering, it'll actually change the drums that you're using. So check this out. Yo, that sounds dope though. Dude, those kicks are booming. Alright, so here's the fun part. If I have a transpose that I think sounds interesting, I can resample it and just record that as a loop. That's what we're about to do. So let's see if this works. Okay, we're gonna go here. Okay, so I gotta set up the recording here. Press sampling, select the pad that I want to record it to, which is numero 6. And then for here, I can just keep it mono. It doesn't need to be stereo because it's drums. I want it to be 2 measures because there's the first bar and then the second bar that has the open hat. And then for this one, I'm going to set the recording to sync. So this should just start the recording when I press the play button. Very simple. And I think that's pretty much everything we need. I could also add an MFX too. In fact, yeah, let's take a listen and see if it sounds even crazier with, like, I don't know, vinyl sim or something. Or just compression. Yo, that sounds kind of fat. It makes the kicks even more booming, if you can believe that. Dude, Anki, what's up, man? Really cool and inspiring to watch you work on that P6. Dude, heck yeah. Appreciate you saying that. Still Life, dude, what's up? Welcome, welcome. It's cracking. Let me hear what a vinyl sim sounds like. Like the compressor. Sounds beefy. Alright, so we're ready to record it. Sampling, select the pad. Oh, whoops. Okay. And so now, I think if I press play, it'll just start to record it right at the beginning because it's set to sync. So let's try that. Nice. So I think I got the whole thing. Just got to write it out. Let's see how it sounds. How do I stop it? Oh yeah, just stop. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why does it sound pitched down? Well, it's because I have the transpose set still. So if I go to Shift Menu, Transpose, it's pitching the sample down 8 semitones. So that's why it sounds super crazy. But it's cool because basically that allowed us to turn that original break, which was this. This is what I sequenced. So pretty cool stuff. So let's hear how it sounds without -8 semitones. Nice. Seems like there's something at the end there, but... And so yeah, because I have the recording synced, I can just put a note in the first step, and then if I press play, it'll play through in time, I think. Oh yeah, I have to do it on the first step. That's like both drum breaks playing at the same time, which we don't want. So I think I just got to clear these notes out. So I go to Shift Pad, clear pad. Yeah, you don't want to do clear all because that'll get rid of the other part, the loop that I arranged or sequenced or whatever. So clear pad, clear pad, clear pad, and then yeah, clear pad. All right, so now those drums that I originally sequenced are not there anymore. I just have the loop that's going. So I just added a couple extra hi-hats because there was a little bit of space in the break that I wanted to fill up. But yeah, I could totally just like layer even more drums from the original slices back into the sequence. What happened here? Oh, I'm on the wrong bank. Oh man, where am I at? Oh, here we go. So yeah, kind of a classic rhythm section technique is to just, yeah, stack the drums, layer them. So I've got some snares going where the snares are playing, but I also offset one of the snares so it kind of like creates a unique pattern or whatever. Okay, so we got the rhythm section dialed in. I think we're ready to get to the melodics. So let's go ahead and pull up Yield DAW and see what's cooking. I don't even know what sounds I want to use. So we're going to have to figure that out as well. I feel like there was this pop kit that I was using that was tight. I don't remember which one it was. Minimal pop? Retro. Dude, retro soul pop. There's got to be something in there for us. Maybe. Alright, so let's see if this works. So I should be able to press keys on here, and we hear it on P6. So that's definitely working. Honky-tonky, but we'll find something good. Don't you worry about that. Dude, Cash Williams. What's up, man? How's it going? Drums. Dude, this retro pop kit is not what I was looking for. Okay, something else cool we can do with Lo-Fi 12 XT is we can use scale mode, which is super duper dope. Basically, it makes it so that you can select a scale and root note, and then you don't have to worry about playing things out of key. So let's do that. Right now it's on chromatic C, which is like basically every note available. But we can pick one. I don't know which one. Diminished. Dude, COM? Dim? I don't know what that is. Chromatic diminished? Common diminished? Who knows? Sounds sick though. Yeah, and when you're in scale mode, you can kind of just play anything. It sounds kind of cool. Obviously, there's some that sound kind of weird. Like when you pick ones that are next to each other, sometimes it doesn't sound right. But you can sort of just press a bunch of buttons and it creates like cool chords. kind of hard to find a cool sound here. This is that honky tonk piano. Wow, dude, Retro Soul Kit, not really feeling that one. What else we got? Oh, you know, I started a favorites list. Let's see if there's anything good in here. Piano, maybe? Dude, Gar Magnus, what's up, man? How's it going? Simple, just use a minor scale, I guess. Alright, so we're going to get things set up here, and the way that I'll be capturing the performance that I'm playing on the DAW, it's going through the Lo-Fi 12 XT, but to get it onto here, I'm going to be using this like looper trick, which I made a video about, so check that out if you're interested. But yeah, basically we're just going to be using the delay effect, which I need to crank all the way up, 100, 99, and 1/1. And then I also need to make sure that there's no sounds going to the delay send, so it's just going to be the notes that I input here. So to disable a pad from going to the bus effects, you just have to hold MFX down, and then you tap the pads. I don't know if it's necessary to do that, but I'll do that. And then I also need to do that for the drum break. So now when I press play, there should be nothing getting sent to the delay buffer. Except when I start playing notes, then it'll get looped in. Layering a bunch of random stuff. Sounds kind of dope though. And then I can press the delay button to stop adding things to the delay buffer, and then I can kind of just play whatever in practice if I want. Something, I just press delay again. And you can turn it off and kind of disable the sounds from going to the buffer. Obviously this is like super duper busy. Kind of sounds sick though. And then if you want to clear the delay buffer, you can just press any effect and turn it on and off and it'll clear it. And now it's all gone. But the reason why I wanted to clear it is because right now it's only looping 1 bar, but there's a way to set it up to where it can do 2 bars. So we're going to set that up in a second. Let me just check up on the chat though. Gar Magnus got a P6. Gonna be soaking up your tutorials. Dude, heck yeah. Oh dang, I didn't even listen to the preset beats on the P6, so that's tight that they had some good ones on there. Yeah, this thing, you put a lot of sounds onto it, it just sounds dope, so that's doesn't surprise me at all. Seven Seal says, where'd you get the knobs? Been trying, but don't know the size. So these are the Thonk tall trimmer toppers, I think is what it's called. I'll see if I can find a link for it, but yeah, Thonk, T-O-H-N-K. I'm just gonna type it in the chat. They come all the way from the United Kingdom, across the pond, as they say. So yeah, you will have to order them internationally, but they're pretty dope. Definitely worth copping for sure. Yeah, I've got them on this, and then I also have them on my other P6. I've got a P12 situation going on here. Please don't judge. But yeah, we'll be using the other P6 in a minute. But yeah, so let me show you how to set up the oh yeah, and then Gar Magnus says P6 got knob covers. Oh, Small Bear Electronics. Yeah, I've heard of them too. They also do the knob covers. So maybe locally would be better. So definitely check out Small Bear Electronics that Gar Magnus mentioned. Good call there. All right, so yeah, we want to do 2 bars instead of 1 bar because right now it's just looping 1 bar. So to do that, I'm going to have to change some settings here. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the tempo in half. So we're at 92 right now. So we have to do math. 92 divided by 2 is 46. So there we go. And then I also have to do shift menu. And we have to go to the pattern scale parameter. And then from here, right now, by default, it's 1/16. So every step represents 1/16 of the bar. So it's pretty normal stuff as far as you might be considered. But we're going to change it to 1/32, which means that every step is 1/32 of the bar. And so what that means is that this whole thing is just going to be half the bar. And then the second part is going to be the other half of the bar. So it basically makes it go twice as fast. And if you recall, we just cut the tempo in half. So tempo in half, but it's going twice as fast. So that makes it 92 BPM, even though it says 46. So it's still sounding pretty 92-y. And then from here, we can do the delay trick, but now it'll capture 2 bars instead of 1 bar. There's a lot going on, but I kind of dig it. So yeah, let's sample it. So in order to record it, I'm going to press sampling, select an empty pad. Oh shoot, I have to adjust some settings too. So we're going to turn trigger off. So before it was set to sync, but now it's just off. So when I press this button, it'll start recording. We want to make sure we have one measure. And then, let's see if I can do stereo. Alright, so I'm going to have to lower the, what you call it, sample rate. So I can do stereo, one measure. And then the last thing I need to do is mute any other sounds that are playing. Alright, and then now I just need to time the recording correctly, which you can help yourself by doing the metronome, so pattern and record. So that was when I needed to press it, but I didn't press it. So I think I timed that right. I guess we'll find out. Oh yeah, and the buffer is still looping, so you just have to enable and disable an effect to stop it. And then I'll turn off the metronome too before I forget. And then we have to unmute everything. And then this is where I recorded it. It gets normalized so it's louder. Something you want to do as well if you're doing this workflow is disable the sound from going to the effects buffer, or the delay buffer. So if you hold MFX and then press the pad, it basically can enable or disable it going to the effects bus. After you record a sample, by default, it'll be going to the effect bus, so you want to just disable it so that it doesn't double when you add your next layer using the delay buffer. And something else we can do too is you can chop it. So go to Shift Voice and then chop. And it's a perfect loop because I recorded it in sync and it did a full measure. So theoretically I could just chop it into whatever, 4/8 or something, and it would sound probably halfway decent. Kind of get the idea. I'm not going to do that though, but it's definitely an option. But yeah, we're going to keep chop off and I'll just play it as a loop like how I played it. capture the loop. I gotta mute everything. You know how we do. And then sampling. Select a blank pad. And then the metronome can help. I think I did that right. Yeah, you kind of got to like get lucky with the, I mean, it's not, if you don't time the recording right, you can still like chop the loop up and do some other stuff with it, but it is helpful to get it like right at the beginning. The metronome is like, if you land it right on the metronome, it loops fine. All right, so we're gonna disable that. And then, yeah, turn off the metronome. And then unmute everything. Seems a little bit off. Might have to record it in live. Nice. Yeah, sometimes you have to add a little bit of micro timing. So this note's like 41% forward. And that's because I hit the recording a little too late, I guess. But now that it's a sample, I could put like a filter on it. Or do other stuff as well. But yeah, I'm gonna do MFX, disable it from going to the effects bus, and now I can use the delay buffer for other stuff too. But yeah, Gar Magnus says those 3.5mm right angle candy cords are a must for P6. Yeah, dude, you better recognize that's what this thing is. And they're super cheap too. Like if you're buying stuff from Candy Cord, you might as well just throw these in there. You might as well throw in the 1/4" adapters, or I don't know what it is in international, 6.5mm or whatever. Yeah, if you're buying stuff from Candy Cords, yeah, or My Volts, I mean, yeah, definitely grab some of these. Super useful. They're great for pocket operators too, so worth noting as well. All right, what else we got? Pop ballad. What's that all about? Oh, it's drums. Get out of here. Yuck. I gotta mute everything. And if I know that the beginning of the loop is like at a certain point, I don't have to use the metronome, I can just time it. I played a chord right at the beginning, so I know that it's the beginning. Taking its time over here. We're not in a rush, so it's all good. It's still looping, so I gotta disable it. And then let's hear what it sounds like. Be a little bit finicky. It sounds like I need to move it back. record it in. I think I did that one a little early, so we're probably gonna have to move the note around. But yeah, we're getting pretty full on slots here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I only have this pad open, and I kind of want to keep it on one bank just for simplicity's sake. So one more layer, that means. But yeah, let me unmute, see what it sounds like in there. I gotta turn down too, I think. Might have screwed that up. Let's see. Got a lot of layers. So this was the bass layer, and I was just using the E piano. This is the bass. It's like a regular piano. Guitar. It's like synth. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have that synth and the guitar play the same part. It's kind of in the same area, frequency band. And there you have it, folks. So yeah, that's kind of the looper delay buffer workflow in a nutshell. It's a lot of fun to use, especially if you're pairing it with like other instruments. Like here I'm using VSTs on the DAW, but if you had like a synth that you were playing where you were capturing loops, it's kind of a fun workflow. So let me unmute that. Okay. And then I'm going to save it because I kind of like that one. All right. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next phase of the stream, which is I wanted to talk a little bit about how to do some like live performance type stuff using the P6. So we're going to get into that. But I'll need to use my other P6 to demonstrate that. So we're going to get that jacked on over here. Let me turn this thing down so it doesn't make a loud noise. I know it's like, J-Maculate, do you really need two P6s? And the answer is yes, I do. This thing's fun, man. I really love the P6. It's like it really reminds me of the Pocket Operator in that it's just like very, you know, quick sketchpad type thing that you can make, short beats on. And you can just do a clean slate, start from scratch, and not have to worry about like organizing projects and that sort of thing, since it's kind of limited in that regard. Okay, switching back to this. In fact, I can probably get this thing out of the way too. I don't need you anymore, Lo-Fi 12XT. Sorry. All right, bring this in front and center here. Could probably make it bigger. There we go. But yeah, first, let's listen to some beats, or make sure it works. Oh, because yeah, I need to plug... Or no, it should work, I think. There we go. Okay, so the topic of the day is live performance tactics on the Roland P-6. So yeah, in essence, I'm going to talk through some of the things that I did when I played some beats last week at the Lo-Fi Wednesday thing that's in Sacramento, which is a ton of fun. You can do the open aux where you plug in, you can play beats live. And yeah, everyone's super friendly and nice and stuff, so it's always cool to swing by there. So if you're in Sacramento on a Wednesday, be sure to check it out. It's at Shady Lady Saloon. And I think it starts at like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. Anyways, so yeah, last week I was playing some beats on the P6, and there were some things that I was doing that I think is cool to think about in terms of live performance on this thing. Because it does have kind of like the SP404 DNA, so you've got all the kind of basic effects that you could use, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But there's also some unique stuff that this can do, particularly with the step loop and a few other things. So let's get into it. So the first thing when it comes to doing live performances on this that I think is super important is being organized with your pads and your beats so that you know where all your sounds are. So for instance, on this beat, you can see that I have all the sounds saved on this bank and this bank. There's nothing on this one going, nothing on this one going, and then the other banks are also clear. So like right off the bat, I already know that everything that I want to do in terms of like mute outs and stuff is just going to be living on these two banks. And I always do the rhythm stuff on the A bank, and then I do the melodic stuff on the other bank. So I have 3 beats saved in this page of the P6 basically. So I've got a beat that has sounds playing here, which we're listening to now. And then, where's the next one? This one? This is the second beat, and it's playing just on these two. This is the rhythm section, and then this is where the melodic samples are from. And then just to give you another demonstration here. And then I was mentioning this before, the ones that have 100 on them are ones that I know are blank, so there's no samples on them. So if I see something, if I'm playing live and I see 100, I'm like, uh-oh, I'm not loading the correct song. So I need to try to find the right one. This one says 90, so it's got stuff saved on it. And you can see this beat has the rhythm section here, and then it has melodics on this. So 3 beats, 1 for each bank, and then this one is always going to be the drum sounds. And the reason why that's helpful is because if you want to do mute outs on the fly, which is always fun to do when you're doing live, you want to know where your sounds are. So now what I can do is, if I want to bring the drums out, hold shift and press this button. Oh yeah, I usually do a slice drum break on pad 6 as well. Or 5, I mean. And then when I want to bring them back, I have some other melodic stuff that I leave muted, but then I unmute as the beat is playing to kind of build it up a bit. You could do the same thing with like having different patterns saved, but I like just doing it with mute outs because I'm like super basic. It's like an old Akai MPC thing. Just bring one layer in and it keeps the beat moving. So it's a good strategy. It's kind of just knowing where your sounds are and having a kind of like an arc, I guess, or a path that you can travel on to get you to the fully unmuted full pattern is kind of how I approach it. And that's why I leave certain stuff muted. So that's kind of like one strategy, making sure you know where your sounds are. And then let's see. Yeah, I already talked about dynamic mute outs. I just have some notes written about this. And then keeping the banks organized. Yep. And then another thing that's important to like make sure that you have space for multiple beats on the device is to be like really efficient with your pads. So I have sample chains set up on my A bank, which has the rhythm section on all the beats. So that means that I have like whatever, there's like 30 drums per pad. So I have like a lot of different a lot of different sounds that I can work with to create multiple beats on this and not kind of like burning space where it's like there's only one snare saved to this pad and stuff like that. So yeah, using sample chains to have a wide bank of sounds can help you craft as many beats as possible with the limited memory on this thing. Because you only have, 4 banks on this page. There's 4 on the other one, so it's 8. They each only have 6 slots. So that's 48 samples, theoretically. But if you're using the sample chains, which I did a video about, you can always check that out if you want to learn more, you can save a lot more sounds per pad. So that's how that works. And then I've got this note about enabling reverse playback for specific pads. I don't have a good example of it, but if you had like a slice drum break, I think you could probably... Actually, I'm gonna skip it. But yeah, theoretically, if you had like a slice drum break for your rhythm section, you could reverse that, or you could have that pad be set to reverse so that it plays backwards as kind of like a switch up or something. I don't know, I gotta mess around with it more. But that's that note. Oh yeah, and then there's this other really cool thing called a step loop. So I'm not sure, I don't think I've seen many videos about it or people talking about it, but basically it's this text here underneath the pattern button. It says step loop. And what this will do is if you have it enabled, it will basically let you hold down certain step buttons and then they'll play in a repeat, kind of like a beat repeat. So I'll show you an example here. Alright, so to activate step loop mode, you have to hold shift and press pattern. And And you'll know it's active because it's blinking really fast. And then from here, basically if I hold down a step, it'll just play it on repeat at whatever tempo my project is. So there's like a kick drum on here, I think. But there's also this sample chop playing. This is where the snare is, so it's playing the snare over and over again. But the crazy thing about it is you can hold down multiple steps and it'll loop them. So you can catch kind of like interesting and weird like loops. Or you can use it as a fill, basically. Pattern continues to play when you let go of it. So you can kind of like pepper it in, like I said, as like a fill perhaps. You could use it as a B repeat. But it's good to like study your pattern and find moments that it's interesting to like deploy that at. Like this is nice because it kind of just repeats the hi-hat. But it requires a little bit of experimentation, so definitely practice before you try to do it live. But yeah, the step loop is very interesting. And it's sort of, yeah, it repeats the steps that you have held down. You can hold down multiple steps, and the order that you press them, I think, has an impact on, I think it's just going to play from first to last. But if you initially press them in a different order, it'll like start and cycle back in kind of a weird way, but then it'll start looping normally, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, experiment with what you're pressing and also the order of the steps that you press. But a safe bet is to just do like the snare drum after the snare plays and stuff like that. But yeah, so step loop is pretty cool. Dang, I'm kind of ill prepared here in that I do not have my pocket operator handy. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Let me play a different beat as well. But yeah, that's another strategy when it comes to live performances, is using another device to trigger like vocal one-shots. If you have space on the P6, you could definitely just save your vocal one-shots or effect sounds or whatever just to the device, so you don't have to use something else. But it's kind of easy to just plug something in and not have to worry about carving out space and remembering what bank the sounds are on and stuff like that. So yeah, generally I prefer to use something like the Pocket Operator to just save like, you know, like rap, whatchamacallit, I think sometimes people call them Foley sounds. Not really sure why.
Okay. Live it pay-per-view. That means.
These are pretty easy to make too. Like if there's songs that you like, you can just put them in like Serato sampler or something, or any other kind of stem separation software. Create your acapella, quote unquote, and then from there just grab what you want and save it.
Okay.
Keep it on that next shit.
And come off. Listen.
And another good thing about this is that it's super duper small. So kind of like the, wait, let me put it right here. Kind of like the P6, you can sort of like take it on the go and stuff. Very convenient. But you can also do the same thing with Koala Sampler. I mean, over USB-C, this thing can take audio or receive audio if you have a host. So if you have your phone with Koala Sampler, you could put your, you know, rap one-shots or vocal whatever on that and trigger it from there, and it'll do the same thing. It allows you to stay focused and keep things concise here, but then you've got something else that you can kind of play with too. So that's another live performance tactic, is using an external device to trigger sounds that you add on top of the beat, which can keep the energy up and stuff like that. Okay, so that's pairing with other gear. And then, yeah, the last thing, which is probably the most obvious and you're probably all mostly aware of, is that the MFX on this are kind of like geared towards, many of them are geared towards live performances. So I mentioned earlier, this thing has a lot of the like SP404 type effects. So you can use things like the filter to do filter sweeps. There's like the looper effect, which is pretty cool. Get that like B repeat. Not really sure how to use Control Knob 2 in that, but it's probably a way. And then something else that's like not that you may not be aware of is that you can actually disable certain pads from going to the bus effects. So I was doing that earlier when I was doing like the looper workflow thing. But yeah, basically if you hold MFX and you press down the pads, it'll basically disable them from going to the effects bus so that they don't get affected when you turn on effects. So it can be a way to like keep your pattern going and keep certain sounds audible while still adding effects to the rest of the arrangement. So I think for here, I kept the drums on the bus effect, and then everything else is not going to it. Or wait, I'm not even on the right bank here. Hold on a sec. Yeah, so let's keep the drums unaffected, and then we'll have the melodic stuff. Yeah, we'll keep the drums unaffected. So I go to the drum bank, hold MFX, push down all of the buttons. And so now, when I do the filter sweep, the drums will still be playing. And the same thing with, you know, any other effect that you use. The drums are still going. But you could do the reverse too. You could have the drums go to the bus effect and then have the melodic stuff not go to it. Not sure what effect would sound good with that, but there's probably some. And yeah, so those are just like kind of the front panel effects, but there's also all the MFX. Not really sure which of these would be super geared towards live performance. I think Isolator is a good one to just kind of throw on. You can kind of get like sort of a high pass filter type thing with it. Obviously, depending on how you configure it. Stop is not bad for your like last song that you're playing. Phaser sounds kind of interesting. And then delay is not a bad like final effect if you want to just sort of like fade out your pattern or whatever. If you time it right, it's kind of sick. And I feel like there is a way to have the routing of the audio coming in through the line in to also be affected in certain ways by the MFX. I can't remember exactly how to do it. Maybe you hold MFX and press sampling? Nope. I might have to look at the manual for that. But it could be good to have the whatever you have going in skip the effect bus as well in case you're doing like a filter sweep. You can still have your like one shots come through unaffected. So I'll have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, those are just some ideas about like live performance type stuff to do on the P6. Yeah, I think the main points are trying to be super efficient with the sounds that you have saved on it so you can have as many beats as possible. Staying organized with where the sounds are. The step loop is really cool, so messing around with that. And then doing the, pairing it with external gear like Koala Sampler or perhaps Pocket Operator if you have one. This thing's always fun to just kind of take around and stuff. And then also, doing the MFX and using the effects bus routing to disable certain sounds from going there if you want to keep things, keep your drums unaffected or whatever. And you can do that by holding MFX and then pressing the pads. So yeah, that's kind of it in terms of like my scattered thoughts regarding live performance on P6, and just some stuff that I was thinking about before I played those beats at Lo-Fi Wednesday last week, which was a ton of fun. There were like so many people that showed up to it, which was super awesome. So yeah, big shout out to Flip a Beat Club and all the people that run that, Mons Rock and DiBiase for holding it down there. But yeah, so that's kind of it in terms of the stream. Just wanted to make a beat, which I did, and then talk through some of that stuff, which I did as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it at this point, but hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Everyone blowing up the chat. Samurai Chill, Matt Jacob, Cash Williams, Gar Magnus, Seventh Seal, and all the rest of the crew. Dude, heck yeah, Matt Jacob, appreciate you saying that. And y'all take it easy. Hope to catch you on the next one, but until then, peace.